Handheld gaming PCs have achieved over 6 million sales, with the Steam Deck making up more than half of these figures. EA has recently released the source code for Command & Conquer, Red Alert, Renegade, and Generals. Handheld gaming PCs have achieved over 6 million sales, with the Steam Deck making up more than half of these figures. EA has recently released the source code for Command & Conquer, Red Alert, Renegade, and Generals. The head of Pokémon is optimistic that the series will continue for another 50 to 100 years, and the Pokémon Champions game has been announced. This new battle-centered title will be available on the Nintendo Switch and mobile platforms.
Research indicates that individuals favor AI chatbots for conversations about embarrassing health matters, yet they prefer humans when expressing anger. Axios notes that NVIDIA causes significant concern in Silicon Valley every 3 months. Y Combinator withdraws backing from an AI startup following a video showing the boss shouting at a human employee, referring to him as number 17.
The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has reported a significant increase in Iran's inventory of uranium that is close to being suitable for nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, New Zealand has announced that China has expressed willingness to address the concerns raised about its recent military exercises. Just 2 days prior, live fire maneuvers conducted by highly proficient Chinese warships caused unease in both New Zealand and Australia. Additionally, Israel has freed more than 600 Palestinian detainees following the return of the bodies of 4 hostages by Hamas. Romanian authorities interrogate pro-Russian presidential hopeful amid Kremlin meddling. South Korea reports that North Korea has dispatched additional soldiers to Russia to support its conflict with Ukraine. Russia's Avtovaz indicates that Renault's repurchase of its Russian assets will be at least $1.3 billion.
A poster in London titled "Don't Buy a Swastika" has gained widespread attention, as an anti-Elon Musk group's advertisement featuring the slogan "From Zero to 1939 in 3 seconds" has also become popular following the German election. The Washington Post highlights that Elon Musk's extensive business ventures have been supported by $38 billion in government subsidies. Additionally, Elon Musk has expressed willingness to appear on The Daily Show after Jon Stewart's critique of Doge, provided the episode is broadcast without edits, and the show has agreed, stating, "We'd be delighted."
Kurdish leader Öcalan, while incarcerated, communicates a plea for the PKK to surrender their weapons in pursuit of peace with Turkey. A UN report demands global intervention as Nicaragua's administration intensifies its crackdown. Austrian centrist political parties have agreed to establish a government excluding the far-right faction.
U.S. has decelerated and might have stabilized. A Pentagon memo indicates that transgender individuals will be expelled from the military. Salon observes with the statement, "A woman is like a child." MAGA swiftly targets taking away power from Republican women.
Paris prosecutor has dismissed the case against Apple concerning minerals from the Congo. As indicated by a document, AT&T and Verizon have successfully made the initial video calls from a cell phone to a satellite. Amazon Web Services has introduced a new quantum computing chip, named the Ocelot.
A study suggests that the absence of soil on the space station could potentially harm astronauts' health. Researchers have uncovered the earliest evidence indicating that our ancestors resided in rainforests approximately 150,000 years ago. Recent findings have shown that the Great Wall of China is 300 years old.
The USDA indicates that egg prices might rise by an additional 41% this year. Previously, last month, the increase was forecasted at 20%, and the Agriculture Department is considering importing eggs due to the soaring prices. Chile has declared an emergency following a power outage that has left the country in darkness. It has been disclosed that more than half of the nations are failing to safeguard 30% of their land and sea as part of the UN nature plans. Australia prohibits the use of Kaspersky software by government entities because it poses an unacceptable security risk. Apple unveils fresh child safety measures, such as an age verification system for applications. Microsoft identifies the hackers responsible for tools designed to circumvent generative AI guardrails, labeling the alleged credential stealing Azure abuse enterprise operators.
Meta is terminating approximately 20 employees due to leaks. Apple is attempting to lift Indonesia's iPhone ban by proposing 2 new manufacturing plants and a pioneering chip research facility. The Kia PV5 has been unveiled as an electric van targeting customers of the diesel Ford Transit. A new standard developed by the WHO and ITU seeks to reduce hearing loss among gamers, introducing H.872, safe listening for video gameplay and esports. FBI Director Kash Patel is reportedly interested in integrating the UFC with the FBI, according to sources, and it seems the UFC is not aware of discussions between Dana White and FBI head Patel. Meanwhile, Romanian prosecutors have granted Andrew Tate's request to depart Romania, and Tate, along with his brother, has arrived in Florida, where Governor DeSantis has stated they are not welcome. Additionally, the U.S. Department of Education has introduced a NDEI portal.
50,000 applicants. Recently, Trump mentioned knowing some Russian oligarchs who are very nice people, and he stated that the U.S. will offer a $5 million gold card to affluent foreigners. U.S. Fish and Wildlife is urging people to consume more invasive marsh rodents.
The Washington Post article highlights Elon Musk's response to certain Trump aides who are hesitant to strengthen the promotion of Dogecoin. Additionally, the White House has restricted access for AP, Reuters, and other media outlets to cover a Trump cabinet meeting. Furthermore, Attorney General Pamela Bondi has unveiled the initial phase of declassified Epstein files, which reportedly feature a new contact list for Jeffrey Epstein that includes Alec Baldwin, Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, and the mother of RFK Jr. Jeff Bezos prohibits Washington Post opinion writers from criticizing free speech and free markets. This has been described as, Jeff Bezos declares Washington Post opinions will solely praise capitalism's virtues. Elon Musk claims the FAA's air traffic control system upgrade is inadequate and suggests SpaceX should assume Verizon's contract. It has been noted that FAA reportedly considering Verizon contract for Musk's Starlink, sources indicate. The Washington Post states that FBI examining Trump EPA allegations of fraud in $20 billion Biden grant fund.
Zendaya is set to appear in Shrek 5 as the daughter of the ogre. The new anime Lazarus, created by the mastermind behind Cowboy Bebop, has released a stylish trailer and is scheduled for an April
$0.5 billion valuation, reporting a $1.4 trillion increase in payment volumes for 2024. India's Reliance promotes brain mapping to attract IPL advertisers following its merger with Disney.
Apple has launched an 8-hour soundtrack loop on YouTube, featuring an exclusive Odessa set tailored for maintaining focus throughout an Innie's workday. Additionally, YouTube has announced that it now boasts over 1 billion monthly viewers of podcast content. Meanwhile, Gracenote has noted a substantial rise in sports content available on subscription video on demand (SVOD) platforms.
U.S. soldier connected to AT&T breach allegedly reached out to spy agency. Celebrite halts services in Serbia following allegations that police utilized its technology to install spyware. U.S. intelligence chief reportedly not informed about UK's clandestine Apple data request. U.S. intelligence supports Apple against UK encryption backdoor demands.
In the United States, a group of Republican lawmakers has introduced a bill proposing to feature Donald Trump's image on a $250 bill. Additionally, the Social Security Administration is considering a reduction of up to 50% in its workforce. Furthermore, federal agencies have been given a deadline to submit plans for relocating their offices outside the Washington, D.C. area. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, has decided to terminate its legal action against Capital One, which had claimed the company caused customers to lose $2 billion in interest. Additionally, the CFPB is discontinuing its enforcement actions against Capital One, Rocket Homes, and other entities. Meanwhile, billionaire Justin Sun has received a temporary relief as the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has halted its fraud case against him, with discussions underway between the SEC and the Tron founder to potentially resolve the civil fraud case. Furthermore, the SEC has stated that the majority of meme coins are not considered securities and are therefore not subject to securities regulations.
President Trump announced plans to impose 25% tariffs on European Union goods, arguing that the EU was established to disadvantage the United States in trade dealings. As tensions rise over tariff threats from Trump, Mexico has extradited several high-profile drug cartel leaders, including Rafael Caro Quintero, to the United States. This move is viewed as an attempt to ease trade tensions with the U.S. Trump indicated that the United States and the United Kingdom have the potential to negotiate a genuine trade deal that could be established without the need for tariffs, signaling positive diplomatic relations between the two nations.
BP announces a significant multi-billion-dollar agreement to modernize Iraq's oil fields. The worldwide market for combustion engine vehicles has reached its highest point. Trump revokes Chevron's oil license for Venezuela due to insufficient electoral reforms.
Mongolia to host next UN Conference on Sustainable Land Management. U.S. terminates funding for polio, HIV, malaria and nutrition programs around the world. Commercial lunar lander Athena heading to the moon with a drill, rover and rocket-powered hopper to search for ice.
DR Congo, and who are examining a cluster of mysterious illnesses, with the death toll now at 60. A Texas child, who lacked vaccination, has succumbed to measles, marking the first such death in the U.S. in 10 years. RFK Jr. claims measles outbreaks are not unusual in the U.S., but doctors disagree. Research indicates that extreme heat might Anthropic has introduced the inaugural hybrid reasoning AI model globally. Satya Nadella remarks that AI has not yet developed an application with the same transformative impact as email and Excel combined. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, states that AI now requires 100 times more computational power compared to when ChatGPT was first launched.
Lilly intends to allocate $27 billion to establish new manufacturing facilities in the United States amid Trump's potential imposition of pharmaceutical tariffs. HP aims to produce 90% of its North American goods outside China by the end of October. China's advanced semiconductors are projected to constitute 28% of global production, leading to an oversupply situation. Western companies voice apprehensions about their continued existence.
Estonia introduces a new AI initiative in collaboration with OpenAI to implement chatbots in educational institutions. According to the Wall Street Journal, Microsoft advises President Trump to revise restrictions on AI chip exports. DeepSeek provides a 75% discount on its reasoning model, with a new R2 model set to be released before the month of May. Putin commends Trump administration. Initial contact brings hope, officials state, as Russia views discussions with the U.S. as a chance to rejuvenate its espionage networks. South Korea reports that North Korea is increasing its troop deployment to Russia. Russian and U.S. diplomats convene in Istanbul to deliberate on the restoration of embassy operations.
Aleph Aeronautics' electric flying car successfully completes a vertical takeoff in California. Waymo reaches 200,000 paid trips weekly, surpassing Tesla's efforts. Tesla targets Waymo and Uber in its California ride-hail initiative. Tamil Nadu could be the origin of the Iron Age, according to a study. A unique fresco found in Pompeii depicts a woman who defies male dominance by dancing freely, hunting, and consuming raw meat in the mountains. Tokyo is implementing a 4-day workweek in a last-ditch effort to help Japan lose its undesirable label of world's oldest population, as the country experiences its lowest birth rate in 125 years.
Americans report that their income does not keep pace with inflation, according to a poll. Chelsea's 2024 squad is the most expensive in UEFA history. A study reveals a significant connection between illegal drug use and homelessness, highlighting the unmet need for treatment.
Illicit crypto volume in 2024 reached an unprecedented $40 billion, Chainalysis report. hackers of Bybit transferred more than half of the stolen Ethereum to Bitcoin, primarily utilizing Thorchain. According to sources, crypto trading platform BitMEX is seeking a purchaser.
TikTok and YouTube successfully defend against a lawsuit regarding choking challenge videos. Mozilla updates Firefox terms of service, removing the commitment not to sell user data. Microsoft is allegedly discontinuing Skype after 14 years of inattention.
The Philippines has apprehended individuals suspected of being Chinese spies, who were allegedly attempting to infiltrate the office of President Marcos. According to a report by Reuters, these suspected spies were involved in offering bribes to local city officials and police officers in the form of cash and motorbikes. Meanwhile, China's defense ministry has issued a stern warning to Taiwan, stating that they will eventually capture Taiwan, regardless of the time it takes. In response, Taiwan has cautioned China that repeating the errors of World War II will result in their defeat. Additionally, former U.S. President Donald Trump has accepted an invitation from the King for what is described as an unprecedented second state visit. During this period, Trump has also expressed his support for the Chagos deal to British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
In the U.S., fake ICE agents terrorized California businesses for social media stardom, police say. Fake captain boards $8 million fishing boat and convinces crew to set sail, Washington cops say. Elon Musk's Starlink is keeping modern slavery compounds online. For months ago, it has been reported that Myanmar's sweeping internet blackouts drive rebels, medics, scammers to satellite service.
A mysterious illness in Congo has resulted in the deaths of over 50 individuals, including children who consumed a bat. Kennedy Jr. has retracted his previous statement, now declaring the U.S. measles outbreak a top priority for the health department, while a Texas official has issued a warning against measles parties in response to the escalating situation. According to a survey, 34% of women in Hong Kong have experienced sexual harassment at work, yet only a small number have taken any action. Russia claims to have thwarted a Ukrainian assassination attempt on a bishop associated with Putin. Hungary's Orbán advocates for direct negotiations with Russia and disagrees with the EU summit's declaration. A reporter from Russian state media managed to enter the Oval Office during the Trump-Zelensky meeting.
CNN indicates that U.S. intelligence suggests Russia and China are making efforts to enlist dissatisfied federal employees, according to sources. With Trump becoming more favorable towards Putin, the U.S. ceases offensive cyber activities against Moscow, and the record notes that Hegseth instructs Cyber Command to halt on Russia planning. Donald Trump compares the UK directive against Apple to Chinese surveillance.
In the United States, the unsold completed inventory a competitor to Temu. In the United States, employees of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are now barred from collaborating with World Health Organization staff on research papers. Additionally, President Trump has issued an executive order declaring English as the official language of the United States. Furthermore, he has directed an investigation into claims of illegal lumber dumping within the U.S. market.
Razzie Awards criticize Madam Web for Worst Picture and other disappointments. Joker sequel and Unfrosted included. Coppola expresses excitement for Director Award. NBCU's Cesar Conde announces development of a mobile-first premium news platform for a fourth-quarter launch. Soccer rule update. A corner kick is granted if the goalkeeper retains the ball for over 8 seconds.
The origins of the universe's expansion. A new theory proposes that star mergers generate the universe's most energetic particles. Additionally, Chinese scientists are working on a Mars drone capable of both rolling and flying on the red.
BP announces a significant multi-billion-dollar agreement to modernize Iraq's oil fields. The worldwide market for combustion engine vehicles has reached its highest point. Trump revokes Chevron's oil license for Venezuela due to insufficient electoral reforms.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend mocks Zelensky's clothes during chaotic Trump meeting. Trump tells Zelensky you're gambling with World War III, but says he can return to White House when he's ready for peace. Starmer hugs Zelensky ahead of crisis talks at number 10. Jamaican government called to completely decolonize by introducing a bill to remove King Charles. Sam Nujoma, Namibia's founding father and inaugural president, passes away at 95. A U.S. aircraft carrier reaches South Korea, shortly following North Korea's missile test fires.
Leaders to refrain from traveling to the U.S. due to security concerns. In South Korea, the National Intelligence Service stresses security when utilizing the DeepSeek service. Additionally, China unexpectedly replaces its tech minister, who was instrumental in advancing AI and chip initiatives.
FBI gives back items taken from Mar-a-Lago to Trump, according to the White House. Nobel laureates suggest nominating Trump for the Peace Prize if he successfully rescues all hostages. 2 weeks ago, South Africans ridiculed Trump's idea to welcome white Afrikaners as refugees, which sparked a political controversy in South Africa regarding his offer of asylum to Afrikaners.
Fendi marks its centennial with a grand runway show at its newly established headquarters in Milan. LEGO officially reveals Bluey sets at the Toy Fair 2025. Honda partners with Pokémon to design a real-life Karaden motorcycle.
According to reports, only 3 of NVIDIA's clients contributed to over 30% of its revenue last year. NVIDIA announced a record Q4 revenue of $39.3 billion and a total full-year revenue of $130.5 billion for fiscal 2025. Meanwhile, Alibaba has introduced a RISC-V processor aimed at enhancing its AI capabilities. Chess grandmaster Carlsen admitted that he cannot defeat his phone in chess and explained his reluctance to play against engines, stating, "They make me feel stupid."
Sergey Brin believes that achieving artificial general intelligence, AGI, is possible if Google employees dedicate 60 hours each week to their work. DeepSeek has disclosed that the theoretical margin for its AI models is an impressive 545%. OpenAI has acknowledged that its latest model continues to experience hallucinations over a third of the time.
Cockatoos enjoy noodles with blueberry yogurt, marking the first instance of non-primate food flavoring behavior. An anti-aging pill for dogs has been approved by the FDA as effective. Researchers have discovered a genetic connection between Attila's Huns and the Xiongnu Empire, which opposed Han China. Consuming red meat is linked to a higher likelihood of developing dementia and experiencing cognitive decline. The internal biological clock significantly influences teenagers' tendency to eat later in the day. A wildfire in Japan has consumed the largest area in more than 3 decades as the fire continues to spread.
The Wall Street Journal has disclosed that NFL teams have been collecting comprehensive consumer information without providing the customary notifications or options for individuals to opt out. Additionally, TikTok has increased its investment plans in Thailand to a total of $8.8 billion. Furthermore, Intel has postponed the construction of its $28 billion chip factories in Ohio until the year 2030.
During a tense meeting in the Oval Office, Trump expressed dissatisfaction with Zelensky's demeanor and mannerisms, leading to a confrontation. Consequently, Zelensky departed the White House without finalizing a minerals agreement following the heated exchange. Trump concluded the discussion by accusing Zelensky of not being prepared for peace. Zelensky later commented that the disagreement with Trump was detrimental to both parties, although he declined to offer an apology. Additionally, Zelensky insisted on receiving security assurances after the meeting with Trump turned sour. In a related development, a Norwegian company declined to supply fuel to U.S. warships in response to Trump's perceived disrespect towards Zelensky.
IBM closes its China research division following layoffs and a drop in revenue. Google's latest ambitious project, Tara, aims to provide internet by transmitting lasers through the atmosphere, now enhanced with small 13mm photonic chips positioned 1 kilometer apart. China's Kung Fu robot has been made available as open source.
Musk's Doge leads to the dismissal of a federal tech team responsible for creating a free tax filing site. As the General Services Administration reduces its tech unit, employees report that the Trump administration and Musk's Doge plan to terminate almost all CFPB staff and gradually close the agency. Elon Musk describes Social Security as the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Trump, often referred to as America's first crypto president, is set to organize a summit focused on cryptocurrency. Meanwhile, in the United States, Bitcoin reserve bills are experiencing rapid failures across various states. Additionally, the CEO of Bank of America has announced plans to introduce a stablecoin once it becomes legally permissible.
China requires regulatory approvals for updates to autonomous driving software. Tesla is requesting approval for a ride-hailing service in California, indicating a change as the electric vehicle market slows down. Vietnam plans to establish one chip fabrication facility by 2030, with the semiconductor industry's revenue projected to reach $25 billion.
Teleperformance implements AI to alter staff accents. According to Bloomberg, con artists are utilizing generative AI to enhance counterfeit identities for illegal activities. Pinterest is set to introduce more clear AI labels on images.
On military operations, increasing the scope of potential targets. The Pentagon deploys up to 3,000 troops and Stryker combat vehicles to the border. Israel supports the U.S. proposal for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza during Ramadan and Passover, and halts aid shipments to Gaza until Hamas agrees to the U.S. ceasefire extension.
Trump criticizes Zelensky for stating that the conclusion of the Russia war remains extremely distant. Starmer reveals a coalition of the willing to ensure Ukraine's peace. Zelensky mentions the potential to mend relations